Good evening.
Hi, good evening to you.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Sir, my name is Prajwala.
Great. Very nice.
Good evening, sir.
So
Good
once we
evening.
get the both the speakers, we'll admit everyone, and then we'll start with the meeting.
How many registrations now?
So around 500.
Okay, great. I think you'll have to give everyone some time because you have to let them in and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Girish, sir. Good evening.
Girishji, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Raminja ji. How are you?
Nice to, good. Nice to see you again.
A lot of people have logged in already.
Yes, they have, I'm told, 500 registrations.
Good.
So it's good. We'll be talking to some young people who can spread the word around faster than you and me. Nadeem, your 100 people is your on the Zoom or you have got an unlimited?
So there's a limit of 100 participants. The rest are
100.
on live YouTube.
Rest will be on live. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So how do you make sure Mr. Sunil comes in before you get through 100?
Sorry, sir.
Mr. Sunil, Dr. Sunil Keswani is still to come in, I think.
Sir, he's already here.
He's here?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Sunilji, you already there?
Yeah, very much.
I can't see your picture.
You can now. You can.
Dr. Sunil, good evening.
Hi, Girish. Hi,
How are you?
Raminda. All good. I'm just finishing my OPD, so I may be jutting in and out. There are 3 more patients left. We've finished 12.
Yes, you can carry on.
Okay, no issue. But when your turn comes, please be there. And the
That's why the mask, I'll remove the mask as soon as I'm done. So I better keep wearing it.
But you're looking quite handsome. It's matching with your shirt, the mask, so no problem.
That's what my wife said. I said, "कभी ना कभी तो match होना है blue से."
All the volunteers are requested to rename themselves first their college name, then the unit name, and then their own name. So we'll start in 2 minutes.
Sure. Is Rotarian Shashi Jadoo already joined in from Mauritius? Rotarian Shashi Jadoo? Can you say hello if you're there?
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Rotarian Shashi has joined us from Mauritius.
Before we start, I'll just announce an attendance rules for all the NSS volunteers. As per this is a university norm, a university activity. You have to follow the university norms for attendance. So everyone, only students who attend 85% of the activity will be marked. To ensure this, for those who are joining us on YouTube, you have to mention your college name, your unit's name, and your full name in the live chat, and you have to take a screenshot of it because you will need to upload it in the feedback form. On the Zoom also, you have to take a screenshot when you join the meeting, which will also you will have to upload in the feedback form. I'll start so. Should I start? National Service Scheme (NSS) was introduced in 1969 with the primary objective of developing the personality and character of the student youth through voluntary community service. Education through service is the purpose of NSS. The ideological, ori- the ideological orientation of the NSS is inspired by the ideals of Mahatma Gandhi. Very appropriately, the motto of NSS is "Not me, but you." An NSS volunteer places the community before self. The GLC NSS unit was started 11 years ago with the same motto. NSS attempts to establish meaningful linkages between campus and community, college and village, and knowledge and action. Rotary is an international service organization whose stated purpose is to bring together business and professional leaders in order to provide humanitarian service and to advance goodwill and peace around the world. It is a non political and non religious organization open to all. There are over 35,000 member clubs worldwide with a membership of 1.2 million individuals known as Rotarians.
हेलो
Today, we are fortunate to have
हाँ
three
लॉगिन तो
members.
કર્યું મેં પણ મારા કોમ્પ્યુટરમાં કઈ પ્રોબ્લેમ છે જો લોગિન થઈ ગયું મારું
Today, we are fortunate to have three members of the Rotarian Club of District 3141 to help raise awareness about organ donation. All the participants are requested to post their questions in the chat box and in the live chat, and we will take those questions up during the Q&A session.
ત્યાં શું થયું છે જોતો જરા
Participants, can you please mute yourself? For many of the end-stage organ diseases, organ transplantation is the most preferred treatment. The need for organ transplantation is higher than the availability. For the
हाँ
transplantation program to be
हाँ
successful, awareness regarding organ donation is needed and people must have a positive attitude towards
और वो
donating
हैंग થઈ
organs.
ગઈ છે.
With this aim, the NSS unit of GLC, supported with the Rotary District 3141, brings you this session on organ donation awareness. We welcome our first speaker for the day, Rotarian Harminder Singh Pateja. Mr. Singh has served as the president of the Rotary Club of Bombay West for the star year of 2017-18, and he has served as a Rotarian for the past 27 years. His passion for creating awareness about skin, eye, and organ donation in general is well known in the district, as he has been pursuing his passion with full dedication since the past 4 years and is now the project director for this challenging avenue. We are glad to have you speak for us today, sir. You may begin with your speech.
Thank you, Nadeem. A very good afternoon to the elite members of the NSS, my colleague speakers on this very life-saving awareness seminar, fellow Rotarians, Rotarian Dr. Sunil Keswani and Dr. Rotarian Girish Trivedi, Rotarians on this seminar and friends. I would firstly like to thank Mr. Nadeem Siddiqui for inviting us, and may God bless him for taking the lead in this noble task of making all of you aware of this life-saving action. There are only two things in life which we have no control over: our birth and our death. The time is approximately given by the doctor, but the exact timing is left to nature. So is death. In our life cycle, we use our body parts, we look after them, we exercise, we make sure that our heart, our liver, our lungs, our kidneys, our eyes, our skin are all looked after. We wear specs when we have problems. We do so many treatments on our skin to look beautiful and without any blemish. When we do look after all these body parts so well during our life cycle, we have to think what would happen to our organs when we die. Death is very sad. It is sad for the families, it's sadness for the parents. But we do have to think as to these body parts which we looked after so well and they served us so well in our life cycle, whether they should be burnt on a funeral pyre or buried 6 feet under the earth. If it is burnt, it turns into ashes. The body parts are of no use to anyone. And if you bury it, it will be eaten away by insects and worms over a period of time. We have to understand that we could live beyond life. We could give life to so many individuals if we just take it to our heart that we can be useful to humanity even after death. You might not have done even a single good deed in your entire life, but in this small gesture after you die, which will not be made by you, this gesture, the execution of your will to pledge your organ, will not be given by you personally, but you will have to pledge and keep your family informed of your intention to either give away your organs or to give away your skin or the eye. My colleagues Girish and Sunil are going to speak on the skin and eye, which are the most easiest organs which can be harvested after death. Now, the body, when donated, is the vital question. How can you donate these organs? Now, there are two things. One, you can make a live organ donation to your family member, which is limited. You can only donate your liver, part of your liver, because that will grow back once you donate it to anybody having cancer of the liver or having liver cirrhosis or some issue. Same thing with the kidney. Kidney is one of the things where you keep hearing all around that dialysis are going on. People are having so many problems with doing the dialysis, going every time to the hospital. And as you know, that you can easily live with one kidney. So if your family member has got a problem in the kidney, both the kidneys have failed, they require dialysis, you could, as a family member, donate one kidney and still carry on your life as normally as anybody would. You must have heard in the newspapers, our Olympic medalist, long jumper, has taken part with only one kidney. So that is called life donation. When you are living, these are the two organs which you can donate. The other organs can be donated only if you are brain dead. The brain dead situation happens normally you hear in a motorcycle accident or in any other car accident where all doctors have certified that this person will not survive without a life support system. Organs can be donated only when you are in the hospital, you are supported on a life support system. That means once the life support system is withdrawn, you will die. There's nothing that can save you. So this certification is done by panel of three doctors in the hospital who will certify that your loved one is brain dead, and they will ask you whether you are able, would you like to donate the body parts, that is your liver, your kidney, your heart, your lung, your eye, your skin. You can easily save 8 lives. And believe me, there are thousands of people in this country who will die because they did not receive a kidney, or they didn't receive a heart, or they were cornea blind all their life because they didn't have an eye cornea donated to them from a dead person. A simple example, I'm sure Girish will explain to you, that if all dead people in this country would pledge to donate their eyes, within a month or two, there'll be no cornea blind person in this country. We have to take it so seriously, these small things. But it's only the lack of awareness. It's not that we as human beings are not very cordial to others. We don't understand, we don't want to donate these parts. It is only because of the lack of awareness. Many people did not know until we started this campaign, and our group in Rotary is working very hard to just spread awareness. And you'll be surprised that people have heard about eye donation, they didn't know what to do, but they never knew about skin donation. They will tell you, my colleagues will tell you more on that as to how your skin and eye can do miracle, change the life, save life, change the life of a person if you just take the pledge to donate. As I told you, 8 lives can be saved by one person. You have heard about the green corridor in the newspapers, that somebody died in Chennai in a suburb and they reached the hospital. There is a procedure for this. The government has laid down procedures where there is a waiting list for all these organs, and the best suited one, which is matching with the blood, which is matching with all the medical situations, would get the offer for the replacement of this part. There is no money exchange. There is no hanky-panky in this. The entire system works very transparent. You have heard about the kidney scam and all those, but now they are fairly, I would say about 90 to 99%, they are now under control. It is not sold, but it is all done with a proper procedure. So you have to take a pledge. You have to talk to your parents because they are most vulnerable. They are going to one day go away. We wish they have a very, very long life. Nobody is wishing. When we talk about organ donation, we don't wish that your loved ones should die so that somebody else gets an organ. We have to die. Death is inevitable. But we must make sure that our family members know that you have a desire, you have a feeling that your eye, skin can be donated. Organs can be donated only in the hospital. I'm repeating this time and again. It's not that you will it and it will be done. and it's important. And you youngsters are the ones who will be in a position. You will have to take the decision when your elders in the family expire, and you have to make that particular call to the skin bank or to the eye bank so that they can come home and harvest those organs and give life to somebody else. Remember, you have to remember at that time of grief to make that vital one call. And we in Rotary have a very informative website, which is Rotary, Rotary, Rotary Organ Donation.in. It's very easy to remember. That is why we made this particular website. It has all the details, whatever information which might be lacking after this session, you can go there. You can even pledge there. Pledging is only a commitment from you. It's a reminder. Nobody is going to catch you and say you pledged it, you have to give it. It is again voluntary that when your family member dies, you make a call, and if the family then decides they don't want to carry on the will or the pledge which the disease has made, we can't do anything. The doctors cannot come and touch the body. All the donations are done with all reverence, with all respect to the departed soul, and due care has been taken. My colleagues will explain to you how the procedure is done. With these few words, I would thank all of you for giving me a patient hearing, and I would urge each one of you, you have 400 or 500 registrations on this seminar today. I would urge each one of you to tell at least 10 people ahead. So you would be having nearly 5,000 people being aware of organ donation and a simple procedure to be followed, one call to be made. The team will come home, harvest the skin and eye, which is the easiest thing and which my colleagues are about to tell you after I finish. So thank you very much once again. Carry on this good work. You are the youngsters, you are the future of tomorrow, and we have high hopes from each one of you. Thank you very much. Over to Nadeem.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a quite insightful session. You have already answered some of the basic questions that people have regarding organ donation. Uh, we would now like to welcome our second speaker for the day, Rotarian Dr. Sunil Keswani. Dr. Keswani is from the Rotary Club of Deonar. He is a plastic and cosmetic surgeon and currently operates at the Brij Candy Hospital, Shushruth Hospital, and National Burn Center, where he is a medical director. Dr. Keswani's contribution towards organ donation is indispensable, which is evident from his record. Over the years, he has set up 11 skin banks all over India. We are fortunate to have you speak for us today, sir. You may begin with the presentation.
Nadeem, are you going to play my presentation or do you want me to share the presentation?
So whatever you would like. I have the presentation open.
If you want me to share the presentation, you'll have to enable me. I've been disabled from sharing.
Okay.
You have to make me co-host. Otherwise, you share the presentation. I'll tell you next and you keep changing the slides.
Okay, sir. I'll share the screen.
You share the screen. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. A very good evening to you all, friends. I think all of you have heard about blood donation, eye donation, but as Rotarian Harminder mentioned to you, skin donation is something which many doctors are also not aware that skin can be donated. The next slide, please. Now, friends, there are three categories in which you can donate organs. One, while you're alive, during life. One, after you have had a natural death. And three, when you not have a natural death, you die on a ventilator. While you're alive, you can donate blood. You can donate one kidney. You can donate part of the liver. You can donate one lobe of the lung. You can donate intestine. And you can donate bone marrow. When you die on a ventilator, the organs and tissues which can be donated are eyes, skin, kidneys, liver, heart, intestine, lungs, pancreas, bones. And most of us will have natural deaths where your heart, lungs, and brain, everything stops. There you can donate skin and eyes essentially, and also heart valves, tendon, and medulla. So friends, 99.99% of us will have natural deaths. 0.001% will die on a ventilator, if at all, if due to a road traffic accident or due to a brain surgery which does not have expected results. So by and large, most of us will be able to donate only skin and eyes. That small percentage, 0.001%, who will die on a ventilator only will be able to donate all the solid organs like kidney, liver, heart, intestine, lungs, and pancreas. Next slide, please. For your information, friends, the country with the highest organ donation rate of 36 per million has happened in Spain. Spain has the highest organ donation rate. Go to the next slide. By contrast, India has a maximum organ donation rate of 1.8 in Tamil Nadu. Where is 36 and where is 1.8? India lags far behind in the organ donation rate compared to the Western countries, not because people in India do not want to donate, simply because they are not aware that skin is an organ that can be donated, and they don't know that organs in general can be donated. Next slide. Did you all know that skin is the largest organ of the human body? Next slide. What are the functions of the skin? Skin acts as a waterproof layer and prevents the entry of bacteria, prevents the exit of plasma and body fluids. And when the skin is severely damaged due to burns or other injuries, the bacteria can enter, there's bacterial infection, there can be dehydration and loss of proteins and electrolytes. Next slide. Now, where all can you use skin which is kept in a bank? So skin from a skin bank can be used in case of major burns, can be used in the treatment of diabetic ulcers, can be used in the treatment of venous ulcers, in road traffic accidents, in orthopedic trauma, in bed sores, and skin diseases like toxic epidermal necrolysis syndrome, where the whole skin comes out due to an inflammatory process. That's where you can use cadaveric skin. Now, this slide shows you the benefits of cadaveric skin. It's the most effective dressing. It prevents infection. The moment you put this skin on anybody, it reduces the pain. Because the healing is faster, it decreases hospital stay, and because hospital stay is decreased, the cost of treatment goes down. May I have the next slide, please? Now, to just give you an idea of the magnitude of the problem of burns, India records about 70 lakh burn injuries annually, of which 1.4 lakh people die every year. Now, half of these people at least, that is, we're talking about roughly about 70,000 people, would have survived if there was enough skin available in skin banks and there were enough skin banks with skin available in them. So purely because of shortage of skin in skin banks, a whole lot of people are dying. Also, for a purpose of statistics, one must remember that 70% of burn injuries in India occur in the most productive age group, that's 15 to 35. Also, 4 out of 5 burn cases are women and children. And lastly, 80% of cases admitted are a result of accidents related to the kitchen. Next slide. Now, as I mentioned, I like to say this, repeat this slide repeatedly. How does this donated skin help? I again mentioned that it reduces infection, reduces hospital stay, reduces pain, reduces the cost of treatment, and improves survival rate. If there is enough skin in the skin bank, more people are likely to survive. Next. Now, how soon can this skin be harvested? The skin has to be harvested within 6 hours after death. But if the AC is kept on and the body is covered with ice, you can take it up to 10 hours. And if the body is kept in a mortuary, then you can take up to 12 hours. Is the whole thickness of skin removed? No, friends. We do not remove the whole thickness of skin. We remove only the superficial layers from thighs, legs, and back. The procedure takes about 45 minutes. Is there any bleeding? There is no bleeding. Is there any disfigurement or mutilation? There is no disfigurement or mutilation. Is any matching required? For skin and eyes, both, no matching is required. For all solid organs like liver, kidney, spleen, pancreas, some kind of matching is required. Is there any age group on which you can which can donate? Anybody above the age of 18, and there's no upper limit. The oldest person whose skin we had harvested was 94 years old, and his skin was utilized to save the life of another younger individual. Next slide. But there are certain exceptions when you cannot harvest skin from a donor, even if the relatives want to donate. That is, if the patient has been HIV positive, that has AIDS, HCV and HBsAg positive, if patient has skin infection on the thighs, legs and back, if the patient has cancer, patient has active jaundice or sexually transmitted disease, or the patient has died of sepsis or bacteremia. The next slide, please. What is the procedure? Moment the call comes on the burns helpline, the certain questions are asked. Okay, what time the patient passed away? What are the? Was he suffering from any diseases due to which we cannot take the skin? All those questions are asked on the floor, and then the address is taken of the donor. Where is the person staying with landmarks? And the team reaches the place. Having reached the place of donation, a consent has to be taken from the next of kin. Next slide. A sample of blood is collected from the femoral or the heart to check for the viral marker, that is HIV, Australian antigen, and HCV. Next slide. Now, if you see from the top slides, which go from left to right, the body is cleaned properly, prepared like a surgical operation. The extreme right slide shows the skin being harvested with help of a dermatome, which is the instrument for harvesting skin. Come down to the lower slides on the left side, you can see the skin coming out, and the area where the skin has been harvested from, there is no bleeding happening, there is slight discoloration. The body is covered up in bandages and given back to the relatives. Next slide. This is the skin from the thighs, legs and back in a aluminum foil, and that's in a container. Next slide. And this skin is preserved in 85% glycerol at 4 to 8 degrees centigrade. There are various procedures like labeling and all that. And if you see that bottom right slide, that's the walk-in fridge where the skin is preserved on shelves in special containers, polycarbonate containers, in special plastic boxes which are well labeled. Next slide. Who goes and harvests the skin? There's a team of 1 doctor, 2 nurses, 1 attendant. But it's not necessary for a doctor to go and harvest skin. Even a trained technician with a biotechnology degree who's trained can go and harvest the skin. The instrument used for harvesting the skin is called a dermatome. And the body does not have to go to hospital or taken to the ambulance. At the donor's house where the patient has died, or in the ICU where the patient has died, the team will go there and harvest the skin and eyes. Next slide. Next slide. We already mentioned this. As I mentioned, consent is required. Also, a death certificate from the treating physician is required mentioning the cause of death. Next slide. As I mentioned, no donor recipient matching required. Next slide. After you have pledged your skin while you're alive, a special donor card is given to you. Next slide. Now, how will my skin donation be used? This skin will be used by a burn surgeon for transplanting on burn patients or in diabetic patients with diabetic ulcers or bed sores. And how do you preserve the skin? As I mentioned, 85% glycerol, 4 to 5 degrees centigrade, and this skin can be preserved for as long as 5 years. No matching, as I mentioned earlier. Next slide. Is it compulsory to pledge or register ourselves with the skin bank if we wish to donate? You can pledge or register beforehand while you're alive so that your last wishes are then followed by your relatives. But even if you have not pledged while you're alive, your next of kin, that's your wife or your husband or your children, can make the decision after you pass away that, yes, I would like to donate the skin of my father, my mother, or my grandfather or grandmother. The helpline number to be called, it's a 24-hour helpline number, 2779-3333, by which it will be answered by a doctor who will ask you the relevant questions, confirm that the person, the donor, is fit for the donation, and the team will reach there within an hour's time. Next slide. Just to show you an example of the benefits of this cadaveric skin. It's a major burns with burns on the back. Next slide. Burns of the hand also in the same individual. Next slide. Young student, 14-year-old. The dead skin was removed. On the left side, you can see, and on the right side, the skin from the bank, what is known as the allograft, was put. His own skin was not removed at all. Next slide. This is a patient beautifully healed without having to use his own skin, only with skin of the skin bank. Next slide. This is a satisfied, happy patient. He could appear for his SSC exams within 20 days after having sustained burns, which was only possible due to cadaveric skin. Next slide. Now, Mumbai city alone needs 2,000 skin donations a year. Roughly, we're looking at 167 donations a month. Presently, we get only 20 people are donating a month. So there is a shortfall of 147 donations. So many people are dying because not enough number of people are donating. So please donate skin and save lives. Next. There are various awareness programs which are conducted through Rotary, and this is one of the programs. NSS has taken the initiative. We are extremely thankful to NSS for taking the initiative to create awareness. And we ourselves through Rotary are creating awareness in social communities, in corporate offices, in schools, colleges. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide, Nadeem. I think essentially I'm done with my presentation. What I would like to impress upon you that each one, at least tell 10 people that there is something like skin donation, there is something like eye donation, and there's a very simple procedure. It is painless, there is no bleeding, there is no mutilation, and overall, Nadeem, I'm done, that's all right. We can discontinue the slide share. And essentially, we have to create awareness. If each student creates awareness amongst 10 individuals, we are about 500 of us attending the program today. And as Harminder pointed out, if each one tells 10, about 5,000 people will be educated very easily about skin and eye donation and organ donation in general also. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very informative session. We would now like to welcome our third and final speaker for the day, Dr. Girish Trivedi. Dr. Trivedi is from the Rotary Club of Kanjvili West. He has also been greatly involved in raising awareness on eye, skin, and organ donation, and has been doing so in all the sectors of society since the last 8 years. He firmly believes that conversations of this kind, especially with the youth, can make a huge difference in increasing the number of eye and skin donation across the country. And we are happy to provide him with another platform on this day. Sir, you may begin with your speech. Sir, you're on mute.
Nadeem?
Yeah, Girish, go ahead. You're audible. Go ahead.
Yes,
No,
sir, you're right.
he is to share my presentation.
Yes, sir. First, I'll share the video.
Okay.
Right?
Friends, this was a small video. I thought that I can share so you can be all inspired in spreading awareness about organ donation, eye donation, and skin donation. And I will show a small presentation on eye donation, which, as Dr. Keswani told, is one of the simplest of donations like skin donation. Nadeem, can you just share the presentation?
Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Next, yes. Nadeem, next. Friends, uh, you know, out of the 45 million of blind people across the world, India is harboring 15 millions of the total blindness. So it's a big figure, and if we promote eye donation, we create awareness, we can help out all these people who are corneally blind. Next. Uh, 2.5 million out of the 15 million happen to be corneally blind. Now, friends, you should keep in mind that by doing eye donation, we'll be giving sight to people who are corneally blind. So, think about corneal blind, think about eye donation, and then you can make a big difference. Next. Now, cornea is the clear tissue which covers the front portion of your eye. It serves as a window to allow light to enter the eye. And if the cornea is damaged by any of the reason, by the disease, by the injury, poor nutrition, vision will be dramatically reduced and the person may become blind. And corneal blindness mainly affects the young population and the children in India. Next. Now, these are the simple facts about eye donation. You should keep in mind that only the cornea is used for transplant. Eyes should be donated within 6 to 8 hours of death. Like skin, we have the same time frame. One cornea can be grafted to more than one person. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to remove both the eyeballs. People who are having thick glasses, who are diabetic, who are hypertensive, having high blood pressure, they can all do eye donation. You cannot uh, uh, get the cornea by paying money. You have to register the person's name with your nearest eye bank. And all religions, they endorse eye donation. And as Dr. Keshwani has told that it is mandatory, it is compulsory to take blood sample to do the viral parameter of the diseased person. Next. Uh, there is no disfigurement of the diseased person's face. Many people think that if we take the body for cremation, there will be a lot of bleeding, the face will be disfigured and all. These are all myths which we have removed, which we have to remove from the common people's mind. When we do eye enucleation or we remove the cornea, after that we put cotton packing and plastic lids. So you will not come to know also that eye donation has been done. You will think that the person is just having a sleep. And once the cornea is removed, it is sent to the eye bank. They do the processing of the cornea, and within 96 hours, the thing which we were going to burn or bury, it will give sight to two corneally blind people. Now, with certain solutions available, the cornea can be stored for 14 days. But due to the shortage of cornea, it is used as early as possible. And eye banks, they all come under the Human Organ Transplantation Act, and they are monitored by all the competent authorities. Next. Before the team of doctor arrives to your residence, or if the patient has died in the hospital, the family has to take certain precautions. They have to switch off the fans. If the AC facility is there, put on the AC. They have to close both the eyes and place wet cotton or wet cloth over the eyes. Raise the head with a pillow. So when we are doing the inoculation, there will be very minimal bleeding. And the most important thing, like in skin donation, the death certificate copy has to be ready, the photocopy and the original copy. Now, if we get any call, we tell the family member to send the death certificate copy on the WhatsApp so we can confirm the cause of death. Next. As I told you, we are helping out people who are corneally blind. Retinal blindness, we are not able to do much with eye donation. Next. Again with glaucoma, which is a eye disease where the pressure in the eye shoots up and the optic nerve gets damaged. Slowly the person becomes blind. Here also we are not going to do much. Next. These are the people who are corneally blind. You can see the difference in our cornea and the people who are corneally blind. The cornea looks cloudy, opaque. So these people, they require a new cornea. And this cornea we will be getting only if we do eye donation. So friends, a small request to all of you that please spread awareness, motivate people to do eye and skin donation. Next. Now, these are the causes which can damage the cornea: injuries, malnutrition, infections, chemical burns, congenital disorders, post-operative complications are also the. This is one of the most common cause where the cornea can get damaged. Next. This is the age limit, 1 month to 80 years. There are certain eye banks which take course up to 100 years also. There the eyeballs, the other part of the eyeballs are used for therapeutic purpose. And mostly if the death has occurred in the young person, the cornea, they will be 100% good. Next. These are the people who cannot donate eyes, who are suffering from hepatitis B, C, HIV infected, encephalitis, rabies, septicemia, end stage of cancer. These are contraindication for eye donation. Next. Awareness plays a very important role. As Dr. Keswani, Rotary Harbindar Singh ji has told, that awareness has to be done right from schools, colleges, communities, corporates, wherever we get a chance to create awareness. Now, after this talk, you can make a small write-up on your WhatsApp group and spread this awareness. As rightly told, one person, if it spreads awareness to 10 people today, 5,000 people will be benefited. Out of this 5,000 people, if 500 people donate eyes, we will be giving sight to 1,000 people. Next. This is one more important thing you have to keep in mind. If there is a case of suicide, hanging, or accident, the body goes for postmortem. And in the case of postmortem, the eye donation and skin donation has to be done before the body is taken for PM. Three simple things to keep in mind: consent of the medical officer, consent of the police inspector who is doing the panchnama, and consent of the family member is very important. Once they give the consent, the eye donation and skin donation has to be done, and then the body has to be sent for postmortem. Next. This is one of the girl who was benefited by cornea transplant. And in a city like Mumbai, where the requirement is about 40,000, we hardly get 3,000 to 3,500 eye donations per year. Fortunately, Rotary Club of Bombay West is running a eye collection center. You can note down their number: 937-283-7213. I will repeat: 937-283-7213. The common helpline number for eye donation is 1919. There are three major eye banks in Mumbai: Rotary Eye Bank of Borivali. We have Sayara Eye Bank at Thane, and Bachu Ali Eye Bank at Parel. So your role is to just contact the nearest eye bank and motivate the family. If you come across that some young person has died or somebody has suddenly died of massive cardiac arrest, just stand up. As you are aware about all the things, you stand up, tell the family about eye donation and skin donation, and make a difference to somebody's life. Thanks a lot. I think my presentation is complete.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very informative and insightful session. Uh, I would now, I would now like to invite Apurva Pawar, the head of GLC NSS unit, to take up the Q&A session.
Thank you, Nadeem. Good evening to one and all present here. So I will start with the questions. Okay. So there's a question from a volunteer. How long can the donated organs be kept in donation bank or is there any immediate need for it?
As far as the skin goes, once you receive the skin, the processing period of 45 days, only after 45 days, after the due processing phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 processing, is the skin ready for distribution. And if not utilized, this skin can be preserved for about 5 years. But the demand for skin is so high and the number of donations are so low that moment 45 days are over and the skin is ready for distribution, there is always somebody waiting and the skin gets utilized. So we do not have to store skin for a long time. Dr. Trivedi Girish will answer the storage thing for the eye. Dr. Girish, please.
Yes, uh, cornea is generally used within 96 hours, but now with the MK solution available, it can be stored for 14 days also. But again, as Dr. Keswani told, like skin, the cornea registrations in the eye bank are also on the higher side. So the moment we receive a cornea, the family is informed and the waiting period is on the higher side. So the storage period is very short. It is immediately utilized.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is there any age limit or any age restrictions on organ donation?
Generally, the younger the person is, the better is the organ. It's a better shape. It's more healthy organs. So, but for the skin, at least there is no upper limit. As I mentioned in my talk, the oldest person we harvested skin was 94 years old. And for the eye, Dr. Girish will tell you.
Again, as I told you, the younger the person, the cornea, the counts in the cornea, the cell count in the cornea will be good, and that cornea will be means it will be healthy for a longer time. Once the person is above 65, 70, then generally the tissue in the corneas they start means the count goes down. So 10 to 60, the cornea, the chances of the cornea coming good will be very high. So, but again, if somebody tells that no, we want to do eye donations, we take it for therapeutic purpose.
Okay. So, can process of eye and skin donation be initiated while the person is in good health? Like a young person wants to donate the skin or eye after they die. How does one go about it?
I think I would like Dr. Rotarian Harminder to answer this. How is the pledging done? How do they make a will? Harminder, could you please highlight this? You're muted, Harminder. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. You see, we have the now pledging is just an is a kind of a commitment that you are making to yourself and an information to your family that you have a desire to pledge your eye and skin. So it's not a thing that you have signed a legal document and somebody will, after you're dead, your parents will be told you promised to pledge, but you still dispose of the body without donating. So the procedure is you can go on the website, you can go to any friend, you can even, if you don't sign a document, you can even go to the Skin Bank website, you can donate there, you can make a pledge there. Most important is that your family members should know that you have the desire to pledge this, and they will have to take the final call at that moment to ring up the Skin Bank. And as Dr. Sunil has already explained to you, in Mumbai, within 1 hour, their skin hospital in Airoli is so well organized that within 1.5 hours, the team will come home and they will harvest the skin. And Dr. Girish is a full-time doctor who, even in the middle of the night, will answer your call, and he'll personally come and harvest the eye from your loved one with all the dignity and all the love and affection. So it's very simple. And if you pledge on the website, we will send you a fridge magnet which has the number of the Skin Bank and Dr. Girish's number. So naturally, when there's a death in the family, the fridge is one thing that will open to drink water, and you will again be reminded. It's a very nice multicolored fridge magnet. You'll get that, you'll get a certificate, you'll get a donor card. So that will be the advantage if you pledge on the Rotary or on the Skin Bank website. So keep that in mind. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, thank you, sir. So next, can one give his body for medical education or research after the organs have been retrieved for donation? Or is it necessary for organs to be present?
I would like to answer that when the body has to be given for anatomical dissection for use by medical students, the body has to be intact with all the organs and tissues, because otherwise the whole body dissection and the whole body study cannot go through. If you give it for donation, you cannot normally harvest any organs. All the organs have to be intact so that the medical students can study all the organs and tissues in the human body and become better doctors. Dr. Girish, anything you'd like to add?
Only one thing, in a city like Mumbai, there are a lot of bodies in morgue. These problems arise in medical colleges in the remote places, where it is very difficult because people are not aware about body donation and all. So the importance of a dead body is there. And as Dr. Keswani has rightly told, that if the body has to go to the medical students, all the organs should remain intact.
Thank you. So, how long after death the organs can be donated?
Dr. Girish, you would like to answer that?
You can, because skin and eye, it is the same. So you can take this question.
Okay. See, as far as the skin and eye goes, as we mentioned, up to 6 hours, if it's a normal tropical climate that Bombay has got, and if it's under cool conditions where the AC is on, the body is covered with a chadar, a bed sheet and ice, up to 8 to 10 hours. And if it's kept in a mortuary, up to 12 hours. This is as far as skin and eyes goes. For all the other organs, everything, once the patient is declared brain dead, preferably within 24 hours, all the organs have to be harvested sequentially. They're not harvested together. First one organ, then another organ, then another. So sequentially, in which the skin and eyes in that case is harvested last. So the upper limit is within 24 hours.
Do people get to jump the waiting list for receiving organ for any reason?
You cannot normally jump the waiting list because there is something called ZTCC, that is Zonal Transplant Coordination Committee. You are waitlisted on that, and unless you're on the ZTCC list, you will not be entitled to receive organs officially or unofficially. So you can't even think of jumping the list.
When it comes to cornea, we sometimes, when it is a case of a young child, we just request to the eye bank, so they help us out for a cornea to a young child.
Oh, okay. Are there any risks involved after donating organs?
The person is normally brain dead who is donating the organs. So there are no risks involved. But if the donation has happened of a part of the liver or a kidney where live donors are involved, then there is an element of risk involved because the donors can go into infection, sepsis and things like that. But normally with modern aseptic precautions and modern corporate hospitals, these complications are very few and very rare. And any hospital cannot do organ transplants. It is specified hospitals as roughly about, there are 22 hospitals, which are corporate hospitals in the city of Mumbai, which have been licensed and authorized to conduct organ transplants. These are hospitals which have all the necessary infrastructure and trained and skilled and experienced personnel who do a fantastic job of organ transplant, and such complications are very, 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 very rare. So donor also, nothing happens to him, even if it's a living donor.
Once one become an organ donor, can he never withdraw his consent?
Rotel Harminder, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, as I told you that you have pledged, and you can tell your members, your family members, that after I go, please don't donate anything. Consign me to the flames. It can be done. There's nothing problematic in that.
Okay. So a volunteer has a question. I have a concern that if I am injured in a way that has risk to my life and I am registered as organ donor, but if someone else need organ desperately, will it affect the treatment I am receiving?
Rotary and Girish, would you like to answer that?
No, these are all misconceptions which are prevailing in the society. The doctors, they will do their best. They will not think about organ donation when they are treating the patient. They will first provide the best of treatment. If there is a vehicular accident, if there is a case of stroke, they will give the best of treatment. And unfortunately, if the treatment fails, that is the time only where when they think that the person is brain dead, then they will think about organ donation. When they are giving treatment, it never comes in their mind that these organs will be useful to somebody who is in need of an organ. So they will get.
Also, I would like to clarify that even if if the treatment for the stroke or the road traffic accident is not successful and the person does go onto a ventilator and is declared brain dead, still the donation cannot go through unless the next of kin gives consent. So they have to give consent that yes, I would like to donate. And if there are three next of kin, that is, there is a wife and there are two children, all three have to agree unanimously. Even if one of the three refuses, it becomes a veto and the organ donation will not go through. So there are various safeguards in place to prevent such scandals from happening.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I think we are done with the question and answer session. Now I would like Neil to take over.
Good evening, speakers. So I guess we won't be able to take any more questions because we are exceeding our schedule. So I will just summarize the event and then we can move to the vote of thanks. So what we've understood today is that yes, while we are alive, we can volunteer to donate certain parts of our body. But when it comes to donation after death or at the time of a brain death, aside from a pledge, it is the consent of our family that plays an essential role in ensuring that our organs are actually donated. What this means is that a conversation between you and your family, where you inform them that it is your wish to have your organs donated at the point of passing away, is important to ensure that they are aware that it needs to be their priority to contact the concerned organ donation institutions so that your wish be fulfilled. As we now know that there is such a long list of people waiting in line, we need to make an impact and we need to change things. We need to ensure that our family is well aware of our wishes. There is a small window of opportunity where our organs can be harvested, and this is really short. So these decisions need to be finalized between your loved ones before they face the loss of you. This session would be incomplete without this initiative coming from all of you. We are hopeful that you take this message to your family and friends. We can now get to the vote of thanks, for which I will invite Nadeem.
Thank you so much, Neil, for summarizing the whole session. I would like to uh, begin by thanking the speakers, Mr. Harminder Sir, Dr. Girish, and Dr. Sunil Keshwani. This session would not have been possible, sir, without your constant support and guidance. Second, I would like to thank the audience for attending the session and for their questions. Uh, I hope this session was helpful and it created some awareness and answered some of your questions. I would like to thank all the members of the GLC NSS unit for working so hard for the past 2 weeks in organizing this session, despite their exams coming up in a week or two. Uh, Second, I would like to thank our programming officer, Professor Kritika Temburnekar, for her constant support and guidance. And lastly, I would like to thank our principal, Dr. Kolte. So, uh, thank you so much. Uh, we have sent a feedback link in the chat box. It will be active for the next 10 minutes. Please fill in the link, volunteers, in order to get the attendance. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nadeem.